rain, and topmost is showering your love. Let's begin with today's lesson. We are going to do solving problems involving parallel lines and diagonals. Again, we are still on chapter geometry. So let's learn how we can go about. Here the question is saying, is Ruby correct? Okay, the very first thing is Ruby correct here? So if you see, my rule is I have these two lines. These two lines are called parallel lines. I can either show the two lines are parallel with the help of this one arrow individually, and if I want to show two another in the same figure, the same parallel lines, so I will show the second set is by two arrows. Okay. After knowing this key, now we will see the first figure. The figure says HE is parallel to GF. Okay. Now I have my H, I have my E, G and F. So HE is parallel to GF. Okay. Now HF is diagonal. So you see this line which is drawn. Okay. The one I have drawn here. Okay. This line which is drawn here in this figure is called as diagonal. Therefore, they are saying angle EHF is equal to angle GFH. Apparently, it's right. So, if you see, let me change the color and explain. They are saying that this angle is equal to this angle. All right. Therefore, this is how I will talk about the equal angles. Let's go ahead. In order to master the same, you see in a polygon, this diagonal, okay, these diagonals are nothing but the line that are joining two vertices that are not next to each other. So if I am saying this angle, so the second time, that's the reason I am involving F. I am not matching both of them. It's the opposite one that we are taking. Therefore, you have your HF and GE. Now, this time I have incorporated the second diagonal, if you see. So, the first time I had HF, right? Now, in the second one, if you see, I have GE. That is how these two are nothing but a diagonal. So, important keynote here is all quadrilaterals have two diagonals. We need to keep this in mind very carefully. All quadrilaterals, okay, they have two diagonals. So if you see, I have my protractor, I place it, the placing should be very important. The way 0 degree is coinciding here and the way it is going. So if you see, it shows 30 degree, and when I place my protractor the other way as well, I will get my 30 degree. Therefore, we are saying how those angles are equal to each other, and now you will be able to relate the diagram or the picture that I showed you at the beginning, that how this angle is equal to this angle. Okay, so hence we have proved the same. Let's go ahead and dig a little deeper. EF is parallel to HG. Let's look at it. EF is parallel to HG. I will say it is true. Why? The reason is these two arrows of parallel line you see. These arrows are the ones which are apparently depicting or showing us or giving us a hint that they are parallel apparently. Therefore, I will say this is true. You may pause for some time for solve this examples and then check the answer. That would be much better. Okay, so you can actually check whether you've understood the concept. If not, I'll keep on explaining with time or as the example comes. Let's go to the second one. It says, the second sub question of the first one, FG is parallel to EH. So it's saying this FG is parallel to EH. What do you think the answer is? Would it be true or false? But of course, it is false. Why? Because there are no two arrows given here, right? The main sign or the key is not given. Therefore, I will say it is false, or I can write here as well it is false. Let's go to the second example now. The second example is OPQR, right? Now, in this OPQR is a quadrilateral, they are saying. Do you think it is true or false? But of course, I see two parallel lines. It is closed. It's properly one. Therefore, it is very much true, isn't it? Therefore, I will write true. Now, they are saying OQ is a diagonal. Is it true or false? Isn't it? So, you see my parallel lines are here. I had drawn this figure for you as well. Agreed, everyone? Therefore, they are saying, is OQ a diagonal? All right. Therefore, if you see this OQ is going like this. Let me erase and explain it much better to understand. Okay. So, my OQ is this. You see my first parallel line running with it and my second parallel line. Remember this diagram that I had drawn at the beginning and then in the explanation as well we saw. So, yes, it is indeed a diagonal, isn't it? Let's look at the next question. In the next question, they are asking PQ is a diagonal. Is it a diagonal or not? Let's look at that. So, if we see here, my PQ, isn't it? It is absolutely at the side. Is it crossing anywhere? No. Therefore, PQ is not a diagonal and therefore I will write it as false. Okay. Let's go to the last example. The last example says angle S, okay, I have my angle S is equal to angle T, whether it's true or false. So I see my diagonal running. Okay, my angle S is here and my angle T is here. Do we see the key here? We have they both are parallel. So absolutely angle S is equal to angle T. Now next they are talking about is angle V is equal to angle U. If you see again as per the key that we learned or the explanation that we saw, okay, I have the very important part is first is my key. Okay, so my key is clearly stating that they are parallel and therefore if I see this way it's going to be parallel. Therefore the answer is true, isn't it? The next examples will be solved in the shorts. I'll add the card for the same. You can follow for it if in case you want to try to solve more examples. Till then, stay tuned, take care and keep liking and subscribing. Thank you.